Back to the CSGO tournament. We're into our first map of the day between Sitfmeister and the BulldogMix. My name is Switchblade J. Joining me on the desk is Mr. Scriv, and Inferno shall be the battleground for this particular first map. Sorry we haven't been able to catch all of the map. Unfortunately, the team decided to start early, so
Yes.
we weren't able to catch the first few rounds. But we are 42 up the Sitfmeister in a bit of a forced buy situation for the CT side. And it will be a 2-for-1 trade to kick things off to the favour of Sitfmeister in this particular round. They have got short control, they have got A control. It looks like they're going to get this bomb down, and the CTs will be in after plant retake positions.
4 versus 3 as the bomb is yet to go down. Beautiful flash from Jenko will allow him to pick up Fry on long. Now, even in backup, that man advantage score. The bomb goes down. All 3 terrorists playing from the bomb site here. So, I mean, they could quite easily get caught out by one flashbang and just picked off one by one, maybe a triple spray down. It remains to be seen at this point. Surreal coming over from the balcony will pick up one. Reload straight in. Jenko getting aggressive. There's still one player on the site. They're not really sure where he's actually playing from. He's going to take down Cryptix, and they'll be aware of his position. The dink does come in, but of course Jenko gets it as well, and he's got that AK, so it's going to cleanly take off the head of the final player. So a win for the CT side, despite, you know, a bit of a force buy, not really expecting them to take that one. But I think the post-plant positions there for the terrorists just not really doing them any favours.
No, very easy to storm there for the CT side, and it kind of just proves the point where they only lost one man when they decided to go for that retake. So, as you say, force buy works for them. 3-4. Sitfmeister still in the lead. They have themselves a full buy thanks to the reserves in the bank accounts. The AWP for Lazar, AKs for everybody else. M4's in play. One AK save on Surreal on the AWP here for Cryptix. He tries to look for the first man jumping over the banana wall. Can't quite get him, unfortunately.
It's always a difficult flick to hit, to be fair.
It is a very difficult flick to hit, but that does mean that they do lose banana control.
Oh.
Cryptix misses the second one as well. That's not good whatsoever. Difficult flick to hit on the first one, but that second one should have been clinical for him, but not to be today.
A little bit of an interesting entry, though, from Luzzer, to be fair. I don't think I've really ever seen that before. He jumped off the top of the wall and kind of, you know, as you land, just as you appear, it's sort of, the model, I think, is a little bit later than it actually appears on his screen, which was kind of the idea from Luzzer there. But unfortunately, neither AWP are able to connect the shot, so no excitement as of yet. Going to be a B execute coming through, it would seem. Smokes and Molotovs. We saw this in the round previous to when we started casting, and it did actually work out for Sitfmeister. Wonderchild going to rush straight in, takes down Jenko immediately. He does take a fair amount of damage from that Molotov, and also the other player, which is Cryptix, is being completely smoked out here. The rotates have come in, but there's too much smoke down at the moment. They can't get through. Bomb going to get planted. They're just spraying through at the moment, trying to connect something. And I think this time from the terrorists, the post-plant positions are much, much better. And they're going to be able to kind of play the bomb, especially with that man advantage.
And the CTs aren't going to give it up, though. They're going to go for the retake. First kill coming in. Astro going for him, but Darcy trams right back. He's traded from Dark. 3 versus 3. HP advantage just about to the favour of the CT side. But they've got to check Dark again because they've got Link back here. He's going to be here to deny the bomb pod. Takes 1, 2, and 3 frags. Just like that. Perfectly played with perfect patience. The 4K overall. And the 5th on the board for Sitfmeister.
Yeah, it is indeed Link. I wasn't quite sure at that point because obviously players are prone to changing their names. And really, really well played from him, to be fair. You know, the opportunity was there. He did not whiff any of his shots, connecting everything, which is, you know, looking good for the rest of the game. Of course, this is the first map. Like Jay said, we missed a few of the rounds, but it's not too much of a big deal at this point because it's not, you know, make or break kind of situation. It's very, very early on indeed. And then the winner of this will go on to our grand final. They will be up against Fish123, the team of Smuya, which, of course, you know, that team, because they won the upper bracket grand final, have got a map in hand, so to speak. So they've got to win this game, and then they'll have to win 3 maps in a row, pretty much, I think, at that point. Can only afford to lose 1 even after they win this game. So a lot of CS to be played, especially from Sitfmeister. If they make it through, they came through the lower bracket. They will have played for 10, 11 hours yesterday. So I think you might have a passion for CS, but by the end of that time, you'll definitely be sick of it.
60 seconds left. Sitfmeister have tried to gain the mid control. They have done so successfully, but CT's been using whatever utility they can to suppress them and keep them back for as much time as possible because they haven't got a lot in the tank. The force bite is out, but it's mostly pistols. This UMP also in play. First frag looks to come through from Link. He's trying to find this one angle. Spots the foe. Now knows exactly where he is. Should be able to spray him down. Indeed, takes the first frag for the T side. They're still creeping up. They're still not going for the full frontal offensive. The CTs on the B side will rotate and try and gamble on this A site being the hit, which fortunately for them it is. They could actually catch off this bomb plant. They could catch off several different players, but Dancy is here ready and waiting to line them up. Takes one down, not Jenko though. Just going to be down to the players on the site here. 2K for Big Man. Make it another with Jenko taking out another frag. 2 versus 2. Make it 1. With Link the last man left. Jenko will come in for his double kill and bring the 4th on the board for the CT side.
What a great round to win, honestly. Down to Jenko and I want to say Robin, which is Big Man. Really well played from them. You know, Robin on the site there with the UMP. He did really well to kind of capitalise on that in that situation, and the terrorists just not really able to deal with him. Like you say, they got that initial frag, and then I think they started playing a little bit nervously because up against pistols, you can never really tell whether you're going to be against a stack or not. You know, benefit of hindsight and the information that we have readily available to us would tell us that if they'd have just kind of gone straight in, they probably would have been able to trade everything quite quickly and get control of that A-bomb site and win because, you know, they would have had more utility, better weaponry.
Default boosts coming in here from the CT side. Cryptic's looking around. So I catch a glimpse of any one of these T side players. Thanks to that force working out so well for the CT side, they forced Sitfmeister down to a forced buy. 2 AKs, 1 UMP, and 2 pistols. 60 seconds will remain here for this T side squad as they do use what utility they have to try and set things up. They're instantly mollied away though. Can't get that early top mid control. And now they will finally push in, go towards long and head out towards short as well. Try and see if they can get that first frag, and indeed they will be able to do so. Quick trade back from, like you say, we think he's Robin. 4 versus 4, and Surreal is here towards the corner. Takes himself 1, 2, 3, and 4. Easy sprays. They just all seem to line up for him as the CT side do equalise the 5th round against Sitfmeister.
That's why they get put in at the top seed, Surreal and Robin especially, proving in that round why they're so important to this team. I think a little bit of what we're seeing here, though, usually at events like Epic Land, there are a lot of mixed teams, right? They just kind of come together, they're friends, they're playing a little bit more for fun than to win, although it is nice to win, of course. And Surreal and Robin do play on a team officially, they play on Epsilon, and I think all these players have kind of played in iterations of teams together at some point. However, Sitfmeister on the other side all play together apart from one of the players. So I think they have a bit more of a tendency to have that coordination. They've got a few executes in the back pocket where everyone knows their role, and that's definitely something that they can play on. I mean, of course, if they do end up winning the tournament off the back of that, everyone will call them a bit keen and just kind of, you know, blame the fact that they're in mixers as to why they lost. But all remains to be seen at this point. But Sitfmeister, I think, definitely are able to pull out, you know, when they need to, they're able to pull out these executes to make things a bit easier.
Trades coming through in these defaults. We only got pistols for Sitfmeister for the most part. It is an eco, but we have got Link here with the M4 picked up off the body over the beard. Jenko, Robin picked up 1 frag with Surreal picking up another. They are just suppressing them here towards this mid position, which they've been doing very well with both utility and picks. Eventually they end up 2k apiece. Get some AKs also to play with. For the CT side as they take the lead back away from the Sitfmeister. 6-5 is the scoreline at the moment. And of course the Sitfmeister side do have themselves the buy here. 5 AKs to play. Kevlar helmets across the board for everyone. Limited utility sets, but enough to go for executions. But interesting, no HGs and no Molotovs.
Yeah, I mean, I think the smokes are important here, especially for the way that they've been playing. They have that B execute where they use a few Molotovs and whatnot. Oh, a nice shot from Luzzer onto Surreal. But they're going to be going towards A by the looks of things, especially off the back of that kill. So I think Molotovs aren't really necessary. Smokes are definitely important, so are flashbangs. But the Molotovs kind of a bit hit and miss on the A-bomb site in this case. But either way, 5 versus 4. Luzzer is left on low HP. There's still only 2 players over here. And taking down Surreal splits up that team composition, so to speak, on the A-bomb site. Another kill coming in for the CTs. However, Dancy and Link are going to pick up 2. Molotov will take down 1. And Fry goes down, also pretty much getting nothing for his trouble. So it's a 2-on-2. The HP's on that T side quite low at this point. The bomb has gone down. They've got a player, Dancy, playing from inside apps. it would actually be Luzzer inside Apps. It's Dancy inside Pit, and he's going to have to deal with both of these players. He finds the head of Jenko. His teammate will go down, misses the spray slightly on Cryptic's, done a fair amount of damage, so there's definitely a chance he could take this, and left on 2 HP as he finds that one. Evens up the scoreline. Robin asking for his HP. It's definitely going to be a bit of a tilter if he knew exactly the number. But it's all neck and neck at the moment.
A very, very competitive map to kick things off here on Inferno. AWPs coming back in for Cryptics. Rifles out for several players of the CT side. Robin and Cyril have that one from us out for Jenko. Or once again for Cryptics as he tries to boost his way up. Banana tries to catch off one of these over-aggressing T-side players, but Sitfmeister haven't gone so far as to give him this first kill in the round. They will try and go for B Banana presence, but just flashing and jumping their way through together just to try and force the issue away from these two CTs, and they do so successfully. They know the strats of this Bulldog side, but a little over a minute still left to go on the clock with T-side players starting to make their way up close and personal, starting to set the utility up. This looks like it's going to be a B execution with the Molotovs and smoke set to go down to Epsilon corner, and the smoke for coffins and probably for the cross as well, I imagine. Is what they have set up here on the T side. A minute to go now, and here we go. Execution coming in from Sitfmeister. 2 players to be dealing with. One going to rotate a little bit late, but he's going to be cut off by the smokes as it will be the first frag coming in for the T side. Jenko does get a trade right back, but they're going to be dealing with him here. Back towards Dark Corner. It will be Link to pick up the double kill. That's actually a 4 versus 3 situation after plant favor to Sitfmeister.
Yeah, the ult really not working out in the end at all. Robin going to pick up 1. Astro doing well to watch that boost there. We'll bring it back into a 3-on-2 now. There's no kits as well for these CTs. Very limited utility. Would be a good idea to save now, especially because Cray is all by himself. Cryptics is very cold, apparently. 3 versus 1 should be another round on the board here for Sitfmeister. It's just a question of whether Cray will be able to get away. But really well read by Sitfmeister, I think, because they understand that if BulldogMix a little bit more effort than it would usually require, but Lizard will finish it off. But they understand that BulldogMix, if they're on a buy, it's going to be a weak buy. They don't have much utility. So they can pretty much get banana control there with their sheer presence. They're not going to have to deal with any grenades or molotovs that they have to run through. So it's really well played by them to get that presence, get control of banana, and then be able to set up their execute with pretty much all their utility remaining. So really, really well read into the economy of that CT side.
Speaking of economy for the CT side, they haven't got much of it. Eco round for the CTs, P250s and 4s, Cryptics with a CZ. They will be susceptible to seriously bad angels, and that's going to get the close range flashes. And yes, going to catch one off guard. Cryptics gets another. Dancy left to recover the situation, does shut 2 players back down, but Surreal is still in play. Got himself 1 frag so far, damage onto Dancy. Eventually, eventually Link will come through, pick off that one, give it to the AWP, make sure no one from the CT side can use that, and start to run his way back in towards long. Still caught off guard by Jenko, so these pistols doing major damage to the T side. It does make a very expensive round for Sitfmeister. Fortunately, we're close to the end of the half, so it's not a major issue. Going into the last round, both teams will be up for force buy.
A little bit closer to the wire than they would have liked there, like you say, but it is the end of the round, again, to reiterate. The end of the half, rather. And it's not too bad. They're able to pull out this AWP. Luzzer does have to sacrifice the head armor for it. He is, of course, being the dedicated AWPer for this Sitfmeister side, and he is also the stand-in at this point. Can't quite remember who he's replacing at this point, but he's an endpoint player, as you can see by the logo there, but who knows, maybe he might be joining Sitfmeister in the near future, or wind and rain as it is in the MDL. Either way, flash comes in, Jenko's still going to be able to pick up the kill, fully blinded up there, so 5 versus 4 pretty quickly on, and this is something that we've not seen very often from the CT side, that aggression over towards banana, and immediately it's going to force a rotate from Sitfmeister, so they're going to try and get themselves onto the A bomb site, try and pull out that ever trusty execute that they seem to have in their back pocket on that side of the map.
1:10 left to go on the clock here for Sitfmeister. Man down on that T side. Potentially a very good CT half from the boys at Bulldog. Still to wait and see how this final round of the half does go. They are creeping their way up through apps. Setting up a cross smoke here from B Banana, but no CT will fall for it. No execution coming in. It will actually be the issue to be forced away from the first taken down by Link. One more man from Pit trying to see if he can get this frag, but they're not going to give it up to so easily. They are setting things up for the A hit, and they're actually going to pull the rotation. Instead, it will just be Link to go in, clear the site, pull the rotation from 2 CTs as the rest of the T-side force make their way quickly into B Banana. And it looks like Bulldog are falling for this hook line, and Sinker Link just wants to go for this full-blown ace. Can't quite get it. As Cryptics will finish the job, realize there are no T-side here. And they will go for the plant here. Back to B. Cryptics, no choice but to retake. It's UKPL, apparently, according to Link.
Well, I was going to say that B fake was matchmaking worthy, right? It's terrible. But then it was so good, it was... I mean, it was so bad, it was good, right? Is the point I'm trying to make. Because... they threw the smoke in. They keep the 2 B players there, but don't force any more rotates because it doesn't really seem like they're actually going B, but they could possibly, right? And then they're like, right, this is clearly a fake. They're going A. So they rotate one player across. The other player is thinking about rotating. And then you just have Link go absolutely wild, which is definitely what you need on this Sitfmeister team, right? Link and Astra, I think, are the firepower here, and if you can have Luzza playing well on the AWP, then you've got all things working out. But Link is 21 and 11, I think. Yeah, so we always say above 20 is an incredible scoreline in one half. But either way, the B-Rush coming in here from the BulldogMix. They've only got one player to deal with as well. Smoke, I think, I'm not sure if that was intentional or a CT smoke. I think it might have been the CT smoke. Wonderchild Link will find Robin down middle. A good smoke to stop the rush there, and a good opening pick as well to bring the man advantage in favour of Sitfmeister. And it's looking good for them. You know, 9-6, they can secure this pistol. Should quite easily, you would have thought, become 12-6. And then it will be a bit of a hill to climb for that T side. And I think if you can get your economy rolling on the T side of Inferno, you know, the new Inferno, it is definitely possible. Boost here on the pistol round, not often seen, but it's going to work out from Luzza. He picks up 2, Fry going to pick up another, and now it's all on Cryptics in a 1 versus 3 situation after finding that kill.
And last man alive, bomb on his back, but CT's bearing down on him from all positions. He's got to pull something out of the hat right here, and it's just not good enough. He taps, but only able to find the head at the very end. Astro sweeps in from the back to pick up the final frag. We're 10-6 up to the favour of Sitfmeister. Claim the pistol, should be able to claim them the conversions as well.
Yeah, no bomb plan at all, so should quite easily go to that 12-6 scoreline in favour of Sitfmeister.
Yeah, it's the second pistol round won by Sitfmeister, the first one by Bulldog.
CT pistols OP, apparently.
Indeed they are. CT sides OP, apparently. Many people would argue.
Controversial.
Well, maybe it's not so much. But what I know is a lot controversial is this buy, and this is 100% fact. This is going to be a force out here from the BulldogMix Sitfmeister. Ready and waiting to receive here from A. Very nice spot there from Link to tag up the first contact. Form of Robin. So they'll hold back and just wait for a couple of moments. They're not going to go pushing in too aggressive. Don't want to give away the game for Sitfmeister, because that would lead to Doom, and Doom is where they do not want to be at right now. They're actually going to start creeping around from long and go for the backstab play into the B site. But this could still work out against him. It depends if Dancy can respond to this. If he expects this at all, he's going to rotate, but caught off guard without his gun out. Will spot Surreal, but the headshot comes through from Robin. It's all down to Fry. While topping his way out, getting the first frag. No! Gets damaged, but not the frag, and it looks like the T side will not allow this to go much further. They will get the bomb plant, and Sitfmeister up in a very, very tough retake here.
That is criminal that they're able to get away with that. Yeah, and I was going to say, I think a call to save here should be made, honestly. They've secured 2 weapons off the back of that, one of them being a Famis in really good post-plant positions here. You know, they have control of CT and Banana. It's pretty much impossible, especially with only that 1 kit and limited utility, so they just immediately go for the save. Really smart play from Sitfmeister. Again, this is kind of the winning formula. Earlier in the tournament, we might not have seen this, you know, in the group stages perhaps. They may have just thrown themselves in to try and get something done, but really shouldn't have gotten away with that. Robin does go down. They're going to be aware of where this M4 is now in the hands of Link. They'll definitely want to get rid of that because he's been on absolute fire. We'll get a second, and I think he's just going to get away with it. So quite well done to keep a hold of that. He lives for the eco frags, apparently. But yeah, I mean, It's really well played, I think. You know, again, they seem to be in that mentality at the moment, both teams. No one making any noise at all as they just walk. I think they flashed middle as well. The CTs should have been aware that there was presence from the terrorists over towards mid. And Dancy not even ready. Not Dancy, sorry. I believe it would have been Cryptics on the... no, yeah, Dancy. What am I saying? On the Sitfmeister side. Not ready for the T's to appear out of nowhere, right? No one said, oh, CT could be open. Watch out.
Still taking on Surreal to kick things off, though, so trying to make amends for his failings in that last round. That Eagle will come out, and of course they force buy for Sitfmeister, who's still relatively strong with the 3 weapons that were saved from that last round, trying to take the fight back to Bulldog, reset them, deny them the bomb plant, and try to see if they can push themselves further and further to the end. Dance gets himself a second before he's finally traded, and Frygo's falling all the same. 3 versus 3 situation, HP advantage for Sitfmeister, and it is these 3 players who saved from the last one. Can they be able to finish off the job here against these lone T-side players? Not against the first, as the MAC-10 will get the frag. Finally, Luzzle will trade him right back to the 2 versus 2. And the after plant is set up back from behind the pillars in Dark and Epsilon. Both CTs creeping up from the same position. They're going to boost on Flower Pot. Try and Molotov one position away. Spots him, sprays him, takes him down. Jenko falls, and the last man falls all the same. The defuse will come through, and Sitfmeister will have an 11th round to spare.
I was going to say, I think they both had Molotovs, so they should definitely have been able to take that. The positions that the terrorists were playing there were easily, you know, flushable, outable with those Molotovs, and even could secure the kill in and of itself. But in the end, they only needed the 1. Really well played to boost up as well, you know, for the trade to make sure they kill that player over towards Dark. And they had kits and everything also. So a fair amount of utility, a good use of it as well, you know, and the kits allows them to just kind of play a little bit slower and not panic it out. A great retake from the boys there. And I think it again is showing that Sitfmeister, most of them play together. They're used to each other, and in those retake situations, especially where coordination is key, they're really able to use that fact that they know each other. It's going to be a straight up B rush. As the smoke goes down from the CTs again, thwarts that pretty much, as they were just about ready to get in there, and now going to try and make their way back towards A. They're going to leave Cray here with the AK, so he could possibly, 1 of 3 on this terrorist side, so he could possibly take off some rotates. But they've kind of fallen back into a default here with a little bit more pressure towards B. I think, again, they're trying to fake out that they're going towards A and the sound cues and whatnot. However, they have managed to rotate a CT over to this B bomb site, so they're going to have 1 more player than usual to deal with. Whether they go for the execute here remains to be seen. Looks like they're just sort of going to walk straight in. 1 Molotov coming into second Oranges. Great timing from Robin to find that kill. Now in Dark, you've got Dancy, and in the cross at second Oranges, there is a second player in Fry. Dancy goes down, Astro on the rotate. 2 kills come in for the T side, and now it's a 1 versus 2, but definitely doable here for Link. And if you want anyone in this situation on that CT side, on that Sitfmeister Gaming side, it is definitely Link. Been firing on all cylinders right now. 25 HP, 14 HP for Cryptics and Cray respectively. A kit in hand and a Molotov could end it all. They're both playing towards New Box. I think they're going to slowly shift their way around so they're not caught up, play some kind of a bait setup here. Molotov goes in.
Perfect.
2 ticks is all that's needed, really. It's going to force Cryptics out of position, rather. Cray still in that second Oranges area. Flash goes in. He's got the nade in hand. Could definitely take it. He's got to be aware of the fact that there's someone over towards second Oranges, but he's not going to check it. And Cray will get away with that somehow. Link has been playing so well, but just neglects to check that 1 position, and it costs him the round.
Yeah, unfortunately that's sort of the situation you leave yourself in when you're in a 1vX on a B-site retake, is the fact that you can only peek so many angles and you expose yourself to so many more, so you just have to be careful about where you go about it, and when you have so little information, all you have to do is lock it out and pray, okay, I'm going to check coffins, hopefully there's no one towards Orange, and in this case there was, so...
That's why the B-bomb site on Inferno is one of the hardest to retake, especially on your own, because there's just so many angles that cross over with each other that have the same sight lines. And obviously, you know, you don't have eyes in the back of your head, so it's very difficult on the retake as a CT.
Indeed it is. So, Sitfmeister down to the eco. Only Mr. Link with the armor. His teammates will fall so quickly. They don't even need to smoke this cross because they know that they can get the frags. Anyway, Cryptics lines up one. Astra gets tagged up in exchange. The bomb will get planted. A very easy night, it seems, for the terrorist side. So, yeah, just formalities, I guess you could say, right now for these guys. At the very least, you know, Link will get one frag on Jenko. They're going to recover that rifle and run away with it, but I doubt they'll be able to get a whole lot more out of this round here, Sitfmeister.
Yeah, Link has opted to go with the armor buy overall, but I think the rounds, you know, where you're up against the eco and whatnot. I think yesterday B Magic we had on, who is a player that's been playing here at Epic Land. We've had him on a few times. He's a great mind for the game. He calls them the accumulator rounds. You know, in terms of being the rounds you should win to build up your economy quite easily. You know, because it's very important to get that economy rolling. In all honesty, and as you can see here, you know, this buy comes in from the counter-terrorist side. Not really ideal. They've got a FAMAS on one of the players. That Mac 10 could be deadly up against the players without head armor as well, because they've had to neglect buying that. Utility not really ideal. Link does have a fair amount of money because obviously he's been playing very well. But comparatively to the other side, where pretty much everyone's on AKs and they've got all the utility that they would need, blinded up, Jenko still manages to find Luzzer as he just blindly sprays through. But whether they're going to be ready for fray here is another question.
Back towards Sandbags. Cryptics picks him off. And Dancy goes falling all the same. Surreal with the Mac 10. Oh, it's just easy for the T side.
That's painful.
Painful indeed. All 5 players staying alive. And Sitfmeister will be forced down to nothing. So they just get destroyed by every weapon they have for the BulldogMix. Sitfmeister. I mean, it's starting to step away from them. You know, they got 3 rounds of loss bonus. They got the you know, they have only a little bit left.
Yeah. This is the danger here, right? When you have that one player who is really popping off, so to speak, on the T side. When you swap over to the CT side, you need a bit more coordination. You need kind of everybody to be firing on all cylinders. You know, it kind of is difficult ultimately to get that done. But either way, it's going to be a pretty easy round here again.
Or not. Hold on a second.
Side. This is a French style of stacking up middle with just the USPs and whatnot. They're going to make their way over towards B, though, but the rotate coming in very quickly. They've managed to secure themselves an AK and an M4. If the aim punch doesn't come through, there's a chance they could pick up a few more kills here, especially with that AK. Bomb will go down, as it's now 11-10, but Cryptics is pushed up aggressively. He will take down Astro, now Fry. Still got to find Link, though, and Link is the key link in this team at the moment. 2 versus 2. AK's picked up. The retake will come in. Time is of the essence. I think they can definitely go for this because it's not going to have too much of a dire effect on the economy. No kits, though. That Molotov definitely going to put a spanner in the works for a little while. They've got the one smoker. Second Molotov coming in. And I think now they're going to say, right, let's just take these AKs into the next round. The one-tap potential, let's keep that. Because I think we're not going to be able to take this one.
Yeah, no defuse kits, no time there for the Sitfmeister side. As you say, you know, just get that one-tap potential extra bonus for the CTs as they concede the equalised scoreline to the favour of the terrorist side. And they've got a pretty decently built-up economy as well, so things are only going to get better for them as the CTs scramble to try and find enough money to buy everything that they need. And they will be able to get it out eventually. The AKs, the M4s, the AWP coming into play for the CTs. But it's not looking good right here. It's not looking good at all for Sitfmeister, especially considering such a stomping lead that they had at the end of their T-side half. You know, starting to step away, and BulldogMix could very easily steal Inferno away just off the basis of that.
We have the danger here on this BulldogMix side. Take a quick look at the scoreboard. And Robin and Surreal are now firing on all cylinders on this T side, which again is dangerous. They're 2 of the better players that we have here in the UK and at this tournament. And they also work together in a team generally. So, I mean, it really is scary, you know, because they have that coordination and they have that firepower to be able to carry a game. As you can see, Robin, solo play, just finds Link, who is the danger man on that Sitfmeister side. And now it's kind of, you know, how you play against Na'Vi. You take down Simple, and it suddenly becomes a lot easier. 5 versus 4 man advantage in favour of the terrorists. Still got one over towards B, but for the most part, they are heading towards A to try and get that bomb down. Player over towards long that they're going to have to deal with very shortly. Astro and Luzza, though, peeking round together. Surreal will trade back Luzza, but Astro gets away with his life. Still in apps here, which is an issue that they're going to have to deal with. Not going to allow them to get into the decent post-plant position that you generally want in that apps area as a terrorist. We've got kits in the hands of Dancy and Astro. A little bit of utility as well to use. So do the terrorists also, so it's all to play for here. Need to connect the shots. That AWP of Dancy could definitely have a huge impact here. Player in pit. Going to shortly have to deal with Astro in apps. 2 more CTs coming from long. Smokes and whatnot will begin to dissipate shortly. Time is of the essence, though. They've got to get in here quickly. Flash comes in. Going to allow Astro to peek out. Whether Surreal will be able to find the head is another question. He will. Gray also finds Frey, and now it's all on Dancy. And with that AWP, the bomb far too ticked, far too gone. He's just going to give it to the terrorists. And finally, BulldogMix take the lead.
12-11, Sitfmeister on that retake, not looking confident at all as their CT side seems to have fallen to pieces. Only the pistol on a stolen conversion, and that is it here for the CT side. Is the rifles, the ecos, they've all been won by the BulldogMix, forcing Sitfmeister into a max loss bonus situation in terms of the economy. They're going to be able to get the double up set up out for it, and the 2 UMPs and the M4 will be able to back it up. Not the most confident buy, but it is a buy nonetheless. Now they just need to find a round. They need to try and find a way to equalize back again against the BulldogMix. Else this will be a little bit too far ticked for these guys. Defaults coming in towards apps and mid. Got big man looking in from the apartment position. It's Dancy there on the turret to take down Surreal to kick things off, holding down that mid control. As the CT side have been doing relatively well on both halves of the match. But he's going to go over peaking. He's going to get punished for it. Back to a 4 versus 4 we go. And Sitfmeister lose their advantage with a push coming in from Bulldog.
A little bit greedy there from Dancy, unfortunately. There's a player over towards long that they've got to deal with here. Cryptics will pick up Astro, so it's into a 4-on-3. Flashes towards long, pressure towards long from the terrorists. Robin going to strike, take down Link. And now it's just all on the rotate players. 3 versus 2 as Jenko and Cray are on reasonably low HP. Robin still on full HP in all fairness. Bomb has gone down. The immediate call to save comes in from Sitfmeister. And I think the issue here is Astro and Fry really need to pick up their game, in all honesty, because they're kind of a little bit of what is costing the team here. You know, Link is almost dropping 30 at this point. Or he has dropped 30 as of this round, I believe. And yet they're still losing the game.
Hello, Scrub.
Hello.
I am Dream, for everyone that does not know.
Jamie is shapeshifted into someone else. A little bit of a hectic day at the moment. We're kind of, Jamie especially, covering multiple games. You know, he's got Rocket League Grand Finals and whatnot today over on Epic Land 4. You know, we were going to do the Consolidation final yesterday and just have the Grand Finals for CS today. But so many games, you know, and players need time in between, and it was very, very close. Lots and lots of full best of 3s. So it's taken a lot of time, and we've kind of had to shuffle everybody around this morning, as it was sort of a last-minute decision to bring the Consolidation final to early this morning. But either way, always a pleasure to have you here, my friend.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Always great to be here. It's now 13-11. T-side of the BulldogMix, just ready to go, trying to get to that final as quickly as possible. This is the first map.
Yes, this is the first map. We missed the first couple of rounds, but for the most part we have caught all of the action. It will be the full best of 3 if it goes the distance.
Right, that's good to hear. It looks like they're going to just take banana control. Just try and deny Sitfmeister any information here, but Sitfmeister have gone for a bit of a stack towards that B site. 3 players there. One playing a little bit in the CT, so he can rotate off if he needs to towards that A site. But the buy not great. They do have a scout out on Dansky, who was actually fantastic with it yesterday, but still not the weapon you'd prefer. You'd like to have an AWP in that situation, or even just an M4. And then UMP onto Frederick as well. Utility, though, is a plenty for the CT side, whereas for the Ts, it's starting to dry up a little bit. That's a nice shot by Luzza. All but get taken down there by, I believe that is
Robin.
Robin. Okay. And now Link in the pit gets taken down as well. That may be the A site taken and possibly just a 4th round on the board for the BulldogMix.
Yeah, they're going to have to go for the save again on the Sitfmeister side. Playing it smart in terms of controlling their economy, but when it comes to actually picking up the frags and making the crossfires work and whatnot, it's really not working out here for them. I think this is third round in a row that they've just kind of gone over towards B and saved as they lose the A site. We found out yesterday, by the way, because we were having issues in our little studio here, figuring out who it was. King Frederick. Then he changed his name to Catmeat Frederick yesterday, and it is in fact Fry. According to our reliable resource, Mr. B Magic. And that was the player that in Wind and Rain, which is the full team, replaced Mr. Hoy.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, because we were aware of the fact that Mr. Hoy was in Sitfmeister when they made it to Mountain Dew League, and then he left for whatever reason. You know, not quite sure on the intrinsic politics of the team. But yeah, and then replaced by Fry. I can't remember who Luzzer is here standing in for, though, because they are technically speaking a mix, because they've not got all their players at this point.
Yeah, I'm not too sure about that. But anyways, we get into the round, and that has got to be upsetting for Cray. That has, looks like Robin's actually going to go down. Yenko has taken a lot of damage as well, 13 HP for him. That's a fantastic flash. Going for 1 kill, can he find the second onto Fry? Throws the flash into the banana area. Doesn't blind anyone except for the people behind Cray. I think at least one of them. Oh, that Molotov's going to take out Jenko as well. There's no way Cryptix wants to go through that to take any unnecessary damage. A scout on Dansky still, so it's not the best. And I think that was a resmoke into CT. And Molotov into the ruins as well. And they should be able to get the bomb down here. Need to be careful of any sort of boost towards CT. And now they just wait for the incoming retake here.
All 3 CTs playing from the CT area as well. Like you say, they've got a scout on the retake, not really ideal at this point, but they've got 3 kits. They've got a fair amount of utility as well. A Molotov over towards Dark could definitely clear out Cryptix. Flash comes into CT, however, they're both hidden for when Surreal peeks it. He's playing up close and personal, though. Will take down Dancy, catches him with a nade out, also picks up Link. Now it's all on Luzzer. He finds one behind the pole, knows where the last one is, connects the spray, and will win the round out due to the fact that he's got a kit. So a beautiful 3K from him, and the 1 versus 2 clutch finally allows. Apparently now they're BulldogMix, but they're definitely not. It is Sitfmeister. It allows them to get a round on the board. It's early in the morning. Forgive me if I have a few slip-ups here and there at the end of rounds after a bit of action.
Yeah, it is just going to be... Well, I think the T-side should be able to buy out pretty much the rest of the game here, at least till 14-14.
Yes, they've got a few more rounds left in them. And I think when it gets to that point, a good idea would be to kind of pause and gather your bearings. The key thing I think to consider here, you know, you just brought on our screen, you just brought the scoreboard up. We've got Luzzer now is also helping out Link, because that was kind of the issue earlier in this half, and whether he'll be able to keep that up remains to be seen. But earlier in this half, you know, Link was going absolutely wild on the T side, but you need everybody to be contributing at least a little bit on that CT side, otherwise, you know, they can just exploit the hole in the defense over on that terrorist side, which is what we'd seen in some of the earlier rounds of the second half.
Yeah, you're exactly right. You cannot just have one player just firing all cylinders. It does not work on the CT side. The T side is a little bit easier. Just let them go in first. You let them carry you like that. It's so much harder than the CT side. Astro can't actually see him. He does manage, I think, just
great boost.
Yeah, just at the top of the smoke, he is able to see and take down Crate. Will be a resmoke towards A long there from Cryptix, and it looks like the A site is going to be the site of choice. Still 3 players here though. One in the pit area or towards mini pit, but not directly in it. One person just sitting on the side. That's a nice boost from Jenko, but I don't think it's actually going to work out unless he can find this A-long player. If he drops a little bit too soon, a nice kill from Luzzer. As now Link, he's going to be able to find one on Cyril jumping. He should finish off the round as well. 14-13. BulldogMix bringing it back on the CT side.
Absolutely beautiful crossfire, in fairness, there from Astro and Link. In the end, it was really well done from them. The timing, unfortunately, for Jenko, is he just kind of falls down just as he sees Luzzer in his crosshairs. And obviously his kind of aim is thrown off by the fact that he's in mid-air. So unfortunate, but it will allow the BulldogMix. It will not allow the BulldogMix to get another round. It will allow Sitfmeister to get another round. This double Molotov take as well, a little bit of early banana control. It was something that they used on their T side on that Sitfmeister side. They were so easily able to get banana control, and it really, really helped them out to pull out some brilliant B executes, and showed the difference in kind of how a mixed team plays and how pretty much a full lineup that's been together for a while plays. So we'll be able to see if they can hold it off on the CT side.
The final player in Sitfmeister?
I don't know.
This is gonna annoy
I don't
me.
know. It's one of those things we were talking about it yesterday. It's like you'll be in a game, all 10 players in, then someone suddenly drops out and you forget who's in the lineup. Like, it's really confusing.
Let's see if I can check the Sitfmeister gaming group and see if Frey, Cray, Link, Densky.
Oh, Cray, but he's on the other team.
Oh, so it's Cray.
Yeah.
Okay, alright, that makes sense then.
That's fair enough. I think you're allowed to bring full lineups to Epic Land. It's not like you have to have mixers, but they just players seem to tend to mix it up, I suppose, as the saying goes. Either way, execute coming in to this B-bomb site. There are 3 CTs to deal with for this terrorist side. They've also been thwarted by just the one smoke, as it happens time and time again. Flash going to go through, and Jenko will cleanly find the head of Astro. Orp here in dark needs to find something. Fry only able to get one. Before he goes down, they line up for him. And the team kill coming in from Cryptix as well because of that. And now a 1 versus 2 situation. He's got the bomb in hand, only got 10 seconds here. Needs to get this bomb down. If they push him from CT, could definitely deny it, but caught with a nade out, so to speak. The timing not really in favour of Luzzer there, but he will find the head when the opportunity arises. So 14-14 now, and we talked about this economy on the T side. Is it going to be able to pull out another buy? I think so. They'll have to drop a few guns across and whatnot. Surreal's only on $500, Cryptic's only on $1,700. But I think they could definitely pull something out because Cray's got a hell of a lot of money on the board at the moment.
Yeah, that team kill might have just changed the course of that round. In fact, it did, because that would have been a 2 versus 2, and I think it was Cryptix in the situation that was forced to go and fight and try and see if he can isolate those 1v1s, but Sitfmeister Gaming were just playing it well. They're double peeking and make sure that they cannot get their 1v1s, and that's what everyone in a clutch situation needs to do. Try and isolate players, try and find these 1v1s. There's no point in trying to... Not every day you'll get a two-man spray down or 3-man spray down.
Especially at this level, they're really going to be able, in those positions to trade you effectively, which is very hard to defeat. There's a chance you hit a lucky headshot, but the odds of a double spray down connecting, bar some kind of hero play or incredible flashbang that allows you to make that, the odds of that very, very slim indeed.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Utility being used to take banana control, similar to what they do pretty much every round here, but Link uses a Molotov into Porch. Maybe the lack of control just forced him to waste a bit of a Molotov there. There's no need for him to throw. There's no one even out mid yet from the T side.
A little bit paranoid, perhaps. It's coming down to the wire here, and Sitfmeister really got a good chance. We kind of thrust into this game. I think we've got all the map information available to us, but
yes,
it was myself and Jay. I'm not sure if you've had a chance to look at that.
I saw, the only thing I did see was Inferno, so I'm pretty sure the rest of the map information is there when it got in. But
it should have been sent across by the admins, pretty sure, but we're not 100% sure at this point. Like I say, thrust into the game almost immediately as we woke up, to be honest with you. So we'll try and get that information going into the next map, whose pick this is, but it will be interesting.
Sure it's BulldogMix.
Okay, that would make sense, I think, because Sitfmeister have kind of been a bit shy on Inferno in the past. Either way, execute coming in. Link will pick up 2, so will Robin. However, the bomb going to go down shortly. 3 versus 3. There's only one more player remaining on this CT side over towards A. 3 versus 3 retake. The AWP on the retake as well. Barely any utility at all, so it's going to come down to finding the shots. 2 players on the site, 1 in apps. It's a pretty difficult post-plant position setup to retake here for the CT side. Flash comes in, blinds absolutely nobody. Do have Robin on half HP, so that's at least one saving grace. The jump comes in from Fry. He will find Robin. Now Jenko over towards short. Finds one, able to back off. The bomb's so far ticked. They need to find these kills. They don't quite have time. The 10-second hold is not going to be good enough. And the kills do come in, but unfortunately Cryptic's not able to go down in the end. He does go down to the bomb, but that'll be 15-14 now. Over towards the BulldogMix. And it's all to play for here. That CT economy is really not ideal either.
Yeah, you'd expect it to be a little bit better. They did only win 3 rounds in a row here, so it's not enough time to build something up. They do get an AWP onto Link, who's currently 35-19. The closest player to him is Luzzer, and 10 kills behind him.
We saw yesterday, right, in the quarterfinals, which I believe was actually against Sitfmeister. It was the Fish123 as in Smooya's
Yes.
team up against Sitfmeister, and Smooya dropped 38 frags and they still lost the first map. So it does happen, and that's kind of the thing with some of these events where teams are perhaps not quite as prepared as they would be going to a big LAN or for an official match. Again, it's the LAN atmosphere that I think we come for ultimately. You know, it's great to see some competitive CS, and when it gets to this stage, it really, really is competitive, as you can see. But a lot of the players come to see old friends. You know, they come to have a bit of a drink, that kind of thing, as the British are known for. So there's a bit more to it than, you know, boot camping before Epic LAN. I don't think is really a thing at this point.
Yeah, Robin, he takes down Ludder. No rifles really available as Astro gets taken down. Famas and Orp out. Other than that, that's it really. Link, he has to go big this round, but the problem is these Ts are entrenched on this A site right now. They've taken it over. It's now theirs. Taking it from the cold dead hands of Ludder and Astro. Forced to go for a difficult retake. No kits available. No rifles really. The FAMAS, that's not something you really want going into a retake as well. And neither the AWP. They are just going to try and push. Do they check Graveyard? No, they don't. Link gets one more, trying to, well, basically pad his stats. That's another kill from him. 2 versus 1. I think the bomb may be a bit too far ticked, though. He has to get it. Map over. What a no-scope, though. Unfortunately, it is going to be 16-14 to the BulldogMix here on Inferno. You hate to see it.
Yeah, I mean, that pretty much explains that game, in all honesty. You know, Link getting the ace there in the end, an incredible clip, to be honest. Drops 40 kills in